Hey everyone, it's MB. This video is basically a direct follow-up from the very last video where I talked about my experience with being controlled. So in this video I'm going to talk about how I wish I had more control over my life. I'm not saying that every rule isn't fair, if nothing goes my way, my life is over. I'm not saying I'm an entitled piece of shit. I'm just saying, of course there are rules that make sense and you have to follow them because they make sense, but I wish people didn't constantly dictate my every move, and like I said before, I've been controlled in numerous ways, and constantly being controlled and feeling like I'm being controlled is one of the main reasons why I have been in the mess of constant anxiety of putting myself out there, leaving my comfort zone, and wanting to be accepted for me. I want people to accept me for who I am, but they never do. And people have always just hated me, constantly controlled me whenever I tried expressing my true inner feelings and desires and thoughts, of course without being too personal, wanting to expose horrible people who've gotten away with their wrongs for far too long, not wanting to remain under secretly corrupt people who somehow manage to be respected by everyone, and also expressing my complaints and criticisms to them and to other people, whenever I've done any of that, and standing up to people, whether they're my friends or my enemies or any higher-ups, whenever I've also trusted and socialized with others, I've always just been, it's never gone well, and I've always felt controlled because people would always lose it whenever I just put myself out there, and I don't know why. I feel like they're being extremely biased and opinionated. Whenever other people have put themselves out there, they've always been respected, but whenever I have, people just not... they weren't having it. They basically wanted me to be under their control. They've never wanted me to have any freedom, and it's really just sad, and I wish I wasn't afraid to push myself out of my comfort zone. Wish I wasn't afraid to call out bad people for their bullshit, snowflakes, talented people, Discord mods, list goes on. I wish I wasn't afraid to express my true feelings, thoughts, views, and desires, and complaints and criticisms to people without being belittled and bullied for it. I wish I wasn't afraid to trust people, because whenever I have trusted people, I've always been deceived and used and betrayed, especially by girls who I grew close with, who I'm not friends with anymore. And they're also, of course, responsible for the mess I have been in for years. I wish I wasn't afraid to socialize with people, because I just want them to like me for me. They don't see me as weird or awkward or creepy, and I just want people my age to talk to me and like me for me. I just wish I was much more confident. I wish I was much more confident to do all this, because even if I was still mentally scarred, I at least would have realized that I at least still had control over my life, and maybe that's all that matters, that I had control over my life. And again, I'm not saying I should do whatever the hell I want with no regard for others, That's not all what I'm saying. In fact, really everyone who's controlled me has never had any regard for me. They've never taken into account on how I feel. They know I have feelings, they just never cared. They never wanted me to have feelings. They always wanted me to constantly do everything their way, even if it was unrealistic and inhuman, and I've just not had anyone to turn to, and it's really just sad. And I know it sounds impossible, but there just have to be other people out there who have been in the exact same position as me. Again, I know it probably sounds like absolute ludicrous, but it just has to be true. Probably, I don't know, but yeah, I just wish I wasn't afraid. I wish I was confident to take risks and not get in trouble for them, and not care what other people thought of me, because they're primarily the reason why I'm in this mess. I'm in the mess of constant anxiety of what others will think of me, and getting in trouble over nothing. Yeah. But anyway, that does it for this video. I probably didn't explain it the best again, but I tried. I hope you all enjoyed, relate, and have a great day.